SIM University is one of the 5 local universities in Singapore, and it was set up in 2005 for working professionals and adult learners. And since then, the university has grown in size and number, and we have over 11,000 working professionals and adult learners with us studying in 50 over academic programs from 4 different schools: arts and social sciences, business, science and technology, human development, and social services. And SIM's university's vision is to serve society through excellence in flexible learning, and the mission is to provide opportunities for working professionals and adult learners to upgrade their qualification, knowledge, and skills through a wide range of relevant programs. A little bit of background about our student and instructors, or the lecturers. Our students, as we know, are professionals and adult learners. What that means is that they could be working somewhere else part-time or full-time, or they could be business people who come in to join us part-time, and they would go for their lessons after office hours and during the weekend. And in a similar manner, our teaching instructors or lecturers tend to be also mostly associates. That means they could be working elsewhere as lecturers, or they could be attached to our industrial partners, and they come in to teach with us in the evenings or the weekends. So we have both part-time lecturers and part-time students in that case. And this means that we really need to have system evaluation instruments that measure the quality of education services that we are providing. SIM University does that in various ways, and one of the ways that we do that is through the end of course evaluation questionnaire. All students are required to evaluate the course they are enrolled in, and it covers various aspects such as the learning services, the learning resources, and the student support. And it's done mainly through 2 sections. One is the academic section, and the other is the learning resources section. The academic section encompasses questions on course content, assessment, handbook design, instructor, ask the expert feature. And the learning resources queries about the various support systems such as the learning management system, student portal, technical support, administrative support, computer facilities, and library. The information from the various parts or various sections of the form are sent to the different departments, and they analyze the different data and work on improving their processes. So there's diversified utilization and unified objective to provide quality and relevant education at SIM University. As I mentioned, SIM University started out small, and over the years it has grown in numbers. And what that means is that more and more courses have been added on, more languages have been added on, different teaching modes have been added on. For instance, we didn't used to have Malay and Tamil, and we have now other languages, and we have different modes, teaching modes such as blended and full e-courses. So there are new additions, and with these new additions, in the annual year of 2011, there were as many as 10 variants to the academic section of the end of course evaluation questionnaire. The academic section, as I mentioned, it queries on the course content, assessment, handbook design, instructor, and it has about 25 questions. 16 of them are quantitative questions and 9 of them are qualitative questions. So 25 questions, different questionnaires. That is going to be a little bit of variation to deal with, and the issue then therefore is that there are too many variants in the questionnaires. The data is not comparable directly. For instance, you can't compare the face-to-face with blended with e-learning because the questions are not the same. Different questionnaires have their unique questions, and there are also too many questions. If students have to answer all the questions for all the modules that they're taking in a semester, over the years it really becomes a number of questions, and perhaps students may not give their true feedback. So we wanted to have not too many questions. We wanted to have sufficient number of questions that gives us meaningful data, that is also comparable across the teaching modes such as conventional, blended, full e-courses, the teaching styles such as lecture, seminar, and the teaching methods such as practicum, non-practicum, so that it is comparable. And to address this, as we are also growing bigger and bigger, the Provost Office commissioned Center for Applied Research to review the ECE question, the end of course evaluation questionnaire, and the objectives of the review was to develop an integrated student evaluation form for the whole thing. But for this paper I'm only focusing on the academic section, with fewer questions and still giving meaningful information. And to this end, CFAR had reviewed and proposed an integrated student form that is shown here, which had 6 questions for the academic section. 3 of it was on the course materials, and 2 of it on the instructor, and 1 qualitative comment. And this was then circulated for inputs to different departments. And what we did at a Teaching and Learning Center is to map out the questions to the mission and vision of SIM University. So if you revisit what I stated earlier, the vision is to provide excellent flexible learning of qualification, knowledge and skills through wide range of relevant programs. And this can actually be translated to providing quality, relevant industry-specific knowledge and skills in a flexible manner such that students have an overall positive learning experience. And quality learning here refers to meaningful, deep learning whereby students are able to understand important concepts. Flexible learning refers to learning anytime, anywhere if student chooses to. And relevant learning refers to authentic learning such that the knowledge, skills gained can be applied in the real world to the industrial context, and positive experience refers to the overall satisfaction. So this mapping exercise revealed that the 5 quantitative questions corresponded to certain aspects of the SIM University's overall educational goals: quality, flexible, relevant and positive experience. However, there were missing gaps, and the relevance of the course materials as well as teaching and flexibility in teaching was not considered. As a result, 3 additional quantitative questions were proposed, and they were questions such as: the course has equipped me with relevant knowledge and skills that can be applied in real-world contexts. To provide more detailed and holistic measures of students' learning experience with reference to SIM University's mission. So even though the original form, the integrated student feedback form, aligned well with university's mission, we felt that the addition of 3 more questions is likely to be beneficial as it will provide even more comprehensive information. In addition, this will allow us to test the validity and reliability, and as you know, you would need more than 2 questions to start off with for a latent factor. And we can then also look at the data from different angles, from the angle of the course materials and instruction, and also the various concepts related to SIM University's mission: quality, flexibility, relevance, and positive experience. And the other possible thing is that the data that we obtain can be represented in a user-friendly manner to the different users, such as the deans, head of programs, and individual instructors. For instance, the deans of schools can be given data at the course level, at the school level, and at the university level, comparing across different schools. And the individual instructors can get data for their individual classes and across the course. So they get different data, and the aggregated mean scores can be presented in a color-coded traffic light signal dashboard format for easy visualization and decision making. For instance, red could mean need immediate attention, and that could be a mean score of 3.49 and below in a Likert scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the strongly agree or the excellence, with 1 being unsatisfactory or strongly disagree. And yellow could be the borderline, and that could be the mean score of 3.50 to 3.79, and green could mean good, doing well, and that could be 3.80 and above. So looking at this data, one glance we could see that the main area of concern seems to be in providing flexible learning, and based on this then we could then identify whether it is at a course level, whether it is at a school level, or whether it is at a university level, and specific issues can then be delineated from the qualitative responses, and appropriate measures can be tailored. So overall, the mission-oriented approach suggested for the context of SIM University serves its purpose. It is context-specific, it allows self-assessment and improvement, it is parsimonious, meaning that we have used very few questions. It has used a questionnaire that is sustainable over the years, although that may have been or may not have been considered, given that the technology is changing and we are incorporating new teaching modes such as blended and full e-learning, and maybe we will also go into mobile learning. So with the many changes, we need to also have a questionnaire that will stay put all through the various changes, and the findings could be presented in a user-friendly manner. And I think, to me, the most important thing is that it helps everyone, from the student to the teacher to the various service providers such as the course material developers, educational technology production unit, teaching and learning center, our associates, our full-time head of programs, to align with the university mission and vision. So this method, this approach, I do not have any data to show you as yet, because the questionnaire has been designed and the data has not been collected yet. It is not implemented as yet as I speak to you. It will be utilized, but not all of the 8 questions, because the questionnaire had to be even more parsimonious than that. So we have used 6 of that 8 questions, which covers the 4 different aspects, and hopefully in the future I would have more to share with you. And the concluding remarks, the takeaway, I think what I wanted to share with you is that while this questionnaire presented here is specific for SIM University context, I think that the concept of mission-oriented approach, whether you want it with few questions or not, whether you want it to be parsimonious or not, the concept of mission-oriented approach for internal self-assessment in universities is likely to be more widely applicable and therefore useful. So if your university is not using it and you are thinking of reviewing it, maybe it is something to consider. And my ending note or ending question remark would be to really consider what is the purpose of the evaluation. As we started out, I shared with you that the typical purpose is to improve and to monitor, and more often than not it is used for monitoring and not as much for improving teaching and learning. So the question that we need to ask in coming up with the evaluation questionnaire is to really ask ourselves if the evaluation is for monitoring or appraisal, or if it is to improve teaching and learning. And if it is to improve teaching and learning, then a mission-oriented approach is probably going to be suitable. So with that, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you for listening in, and I look forward to your comments, views, and suggestions, and joining you at another conference. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.